Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tackle Productions. Today I'm Bancroft, being joined once again by Fluff and Jimmy. Wow, my order is so off today.
What the
What's up,
fuck?
beautiful people?
Yo, what Bizarro land am I in
Oh
right now?
man, it's been a long day. So today's matchup is Fluff playing SS4 Vegeta, and his opponent is actually a newcomer to our shop, which is pretty cool. We had like 4 new guys come to the shop. 3 of them did play this past weekend. It's really cool to see them all. They're actually subscribers to the channel, and they happened to find out where we played, and they came and joined, and it's great to have them here, and I hope they continue playing. You are playing Tyler, though, who is playing the ultimate deck version of Towa, if correct.
Yeah.
Why did you make it sound like they were like stalking us? Like they found us? Like they tracked us down, they triangulated our location from the videos on the channel. I mean, there's somebody that's been in my sleeping in my backyard. It might be one of them, I don't know. But I hope not.
I don't know what to go with that one. So, guys, let's take it away.
So, I guess I'll talk about the SS4 Vegeta. There's nothing really special about this. This is just a take on the old version that I used to play. Been working a lot, and my busy season is ramping up. And I was just like, here, Bancroft, just throw this deck together for me. There are a few cards that I wish I had remembered
I'm sorry
to
to
have
interrupt you.
include.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did he just mulligan after laying his life out?
He sure did.
Oh,
And I told him to pick his life up, put it back in the deck, and then do his mulligan, then do his life. He was like, no, it's okay. And I was like, it's not really the rules. But it's okay. I gathered that they were newer players. So he didn't want to like pick the life up and recount him back out, I guess.
I know 2 of the players who came are like very new, within a month of playing, I think.
Yeah.
I believe so.
So we'll get them. We'll get them more. There is another misplay in this match on my end, and I will point that out when we come to it. But at this point, I'm just focused on trying to get ramped up. Vegeta does Vegeta things. So I'm going to swing. Pretty sure I'm going to put an Ultra Instinct Kamehameha on it, or just see if he knows how to play against the deck. He didn't combo out, so it seemed like he doesn't know. So I'm just kind of testing the waters here to see what is going on, because I don't know if he's running the SS4 variant or the regular variant at this point. I see him charge the Janemba, and that kind of gives me an idea. And then once he pulls out the Boo, I realize that he's on the ultimate deck variant.
Now, I will say, sometimes it's really hard just to combo past that 25k early on swing, though.
Yes. Well, I didn't put the Ultra Instinct on it.
Oh, did you not do it this time? Okay.
No.
Yeah, that the Ultra Instinct is, I think, what is the crutch for SS4, where I feel like some variants of the deck play on the idea that if they get a charge, it's great, it's fine, whatever, but the deck doesn't need it to run. Where other variants are built in a way that if you don't get those early charges, you're going to be a sitting duck until the later turns, which I'm not exactly sure how Fluff's is built. I did get to play him later in the night, but it felt pretty good playing against it at that time. So Fluff, is yours more of the, if I get the charge, great, and if not, I can still win? Or is it, I have to get the charge no matter what, so I have to use UI Kamehameha on almost every attack?
I run the UI Kamehameha, and I run a lot of things that are above that 5 energy threshold.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like I run the deck in such a way that I can grind early matches if my hands are correct. But in a lot of situations, I end up with like 5, 6, 7 cost cards in my hand. So missing those first couple of charges can hurt, especially depending on how aggressive my opponent's deck is.
Mm-hmm. And I wish we could have Tyler here to talk about his list, but it looks pretty much just a slightly upgraded version of the original Ultimate deck, which I played and I love. I have not really played much with the Red Broly package in the list. I know it's pretty potent, So I'm interested to see where this goes, but I am familiar with the slug package and the small boo engine, especially that Xeno boo that he put in his energy, which still such an underrated card in my opinion.
So he has another one in his hand.
Oh yeah.
He does eventually get a boo out, and you'll see as the match kind of progresses, his board gets pretty large for a Towa deck, especially for not seeing his unison. Like, I am waiting for the unison to come down and then waiting to pressure on that unison, but it just never happens in this match.
Yeah, I think the Ultimate Deck Towa, we talked a lot about it when the deck first come out, but I still think the Ultimate Deck is one of the best products that Bandai has put out for this game. You know, almost in the vein of Mythic Booster with the quality of reprints within there, and also the being foil, which was fantastic. And having pretty much a locals ready deck out of the box is just incredible. And I don't think there's a lot of games that can say that you have a deck that could just win straight up on its own merits out of the box. They did a fantastic job with this deck, and there's been so many variations and creativity with this leader. Like, I absolutely love the Ultimate deck, and I'm really excited to see what they do with the Cell Ultimate deck. Which I don't think that has a release date, unless I completely missed that, but I think that's going to be really cool.
Cell deck, I believe, is April.
Okay, cool.
So this is the misplay. I didn't read that Tapion has the restriction to be a 15,000 or more unison.
That's right, yeah.
Doesn't really change much over the match. I believe he lets me KO his battle card. He may combo out of it. So that was my mistake. In all honesty, those should probably just be Murray Chims in my list.
Yeah, I know in our matchup I was very scared of the Murray Chim. So you talked about you had a lot of cards over the 5 energy threshold. I'm sure we'll see them in this match, but other than Android 17 and your energy, what kind of offensive package are you running?
So you can see the Abuni there, but I also run the 6-drop Vegeta, which I don't know that you would necessarily consider him an offensive, but he's either a draw 4 or a charge 4 or some mix match in between. I also run the 5-drop Gogeta, which is bottom deck 2, draw 2, which is a huge momentum shift for 5 energy. And then you can also see that I played the Bardock. The Bardock is part of my aggro engine as well. So, and then just grinding out the energy with those, and those Tapions should honestly be Murray Chim. And I just forgot to include Murray Chim when I was building the deck for Bancroft to throw together. I threw it together in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and truth be told, I just went and gathered the cards, and it took me forever to find those stupid Gohan negates, but I just overlooked that as well until you literally just brought it up. It's like, oh yeah, it has to be 15k. There is one card, you just discarded, the Cal, you play as a 1-of.
Yeah. The idea is that her best effect is tied to being at 7 energy. And like Jimmy said, if people know how to play against this deck, they'll try to stop you from getting on your energy charges. And she can be dead. And that's the same reason that I didn't include the Kaba, because you have to have 3 battle cards on the field. And I feel like unless your variant is built to accomplish that, it can be difficult to get him on the field. And I just didn't feel comfortable with this variant of the deck to do it. And just her, I just wanted her as a tech choice against a deck that I'm able to ramp against that might put a wide field together. I wanted the field clear option with her.
No, that's the big boy slug blocker, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the essentially a dual blocker. Once it's removed, you get to remove a marker off of your opponent's unison. Or it might be 2 markers. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I played this deck. You get to remove markers off of your opponent's unison, and then you also get to rip a card out of their hand as well. So he is something you have to deal with in one way or another.
And the boo, if in rest mode, your opponent can't attack your leader unless they pitch a card or something, or
Yep.
They have to discard 2 to attack the leader.
So it's a nice little trap set up there because he could choose to block with the slug to protect the Boo.
Yeah, it's a once Towa kind of gets like a Towa lock on where it's like you have to discard 2, I'm gonna block twice. I'm probably gonna have another slug blocker on field that I can block with, and when it's KO'd, I'm gonna pay 1 to pay it, play another 9. There's a 6-drop slug, which I don't think he has it in his drop area currently. That while he's in play, your opponent can't attack leader cards. Like once you get that lock on, it's just a defensive wall, and then you still have like big bodies. Like in this variant, you have the 30k Broly. You could throw out the 7-drop Xeno Boo. You could throw out the 4-drop slug, which is going to give your opponent the option of blowing up their unison or blowing up their entire field, and both players drawing a card. So Towa once she's in control for the rest of the game, and it just comes down to who has the most resources to burn the rest of the game. Which this isn't quite the Towa lock on field just yet, but it is a very, very good start.
Yeah, I definitely felt the pressure with being able to remove the threats on his field. I have enough markers on Xeno to blow his field up. But I know that if I remove that slug by skill, a couple bad things happen. And I think his leader also gets an effect if I remove one of his cards by skill.
If you remove a Xeno card, you get to draw.
Yeah.
So while it's not the greatest effect, but a draw is never bad. But most of the time, you'd rather just keep your board than get a single draw. But it's still enough threat to make you second guess removing cards off of Towa's field.
It looks like he chose not to block with the slug.
Yeah, I was expecting him to block to save that Boo, and then he didn't. So now I'm thinking like, okay, what does he have planned? So I'm just going to start pressuring the lead at this point. And he's going to save the block for the leader here.
Which is always smart. I mean, that's one of the better ways of dealing with that leader, so your opponent doesn't get the ramp off it.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to just burn the Ultra Instinct Kamehameha to pressure. If he wants to save that slug, he'll have to get rid of cards in his hand, which I'm equally okay with.
And it looks like he's already running low on cards as of right now, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 5, I think.
Yeah, he was thinking really hard about comboing out on that. So he power bursts on the swing. My leader gets to restand. So I get to swing back in with my leader, which if he takes this damage, I'll get to charge my energy up. It was just kind of unfortunate on his end that my leader was able to do so.
Mm-hmm. But that's a hard thing to remember with that leader, like especially if it's your first time playing against it. Yeah. There's not many cards in the game that get to restand when a counter happens, period. There's a lot of there's quite a few cards that are relevant at the moment where if their attack gets countered, they get to restand. So it's hard to kind of remember that.
Yeah.
But you talked about a shift in the game that Gogeta is probably one of the best cards at it.
Yeah, so the whole idea was to just keep him off the field as much as possible. And now I've got him at 2 life. So next turn, I know that I'm going to be able to drop an Android 17 as long as he doesn't establish a big blocker here. So I don't really care what he does the rest of this turn as long as he does not establish big booty blocker.
Mm-hmm.
And that really is just going to depend on the quality of cards in his hand and what he sees here.
Not having the Unison on board to crack at this point is pretty rough. But I can't exactly see what he has in his hand. I'm trying to peek around my monitor like that's going to help. But but there is a certain possibility that he could build another blocker chain here. But it looks like he chose to go into the 4-drop slug, which is blow up your unison or blow up the field.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of nutty for 4 energy.
And this deck is
at this
3,
point,
isn't it?
Or, well, 3, yeah.
And at this point, I'm okay with losing the unison. Like, Xeno has done what I needed Xeno to do. I don't have a counter Trunks in my hand, so whatever I have is just what I have. So now he's going to either pressure my leader or try to clear off the field. If he pressures the leader, I'm going to combo out. If he tries to pressure the field, I'm just going to let him have the field. Because odds are he's going to extend to try to guarantee to get rid of some of these. So I'm okay with it.
And also tapping out here tells me that he does not have any negates to spend energy on the next turn, and that he's in a position where he feels that if he doesn't, cripple you on this turn, he's not going to accomplish anything.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, to be honest, I feel like that every time I play against blue.
Yeah.
Every turn. It doesn't matter what deck I'm playing against. Like, well, shit, okay, I either have to win now or I'm not going to win at all.
Yeah, and like managing the field feels like the thing to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So he's basically just trying to break my field, and maybe it's mean, but like I just kind of let him do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like me just letting him do it is a dead giveaway that I have already set up my kill shot.
Look, that breaks down to like 1 or 2 factors. Just, if I'm correct, like I said earlier, he's only been playing for a month, so there's a level of not being familiar potentially with these cards. And it's one thing I always try to point out, like, if your opponent charges a card that you've never seen before, just read it real quick. It's a good chance they have another one in their deck, because you did have 17 in your energy.
Yeah. And he knew what the card was. When it hit the field, he was like, yeah. He was like, damn. He's like, I don't think I've ever had that card played against me. It was like, yeah, sorry, buddy, but this is it. And, the big 30 crit deals the 1 damage, leader swings. And you can just see he's kind of like, yeah, there's nothing I can do there.
Yeah.
But he was awesome. He did really good. If I had been playing another deck or seen my draws differently, he could have really pressured me and put me in a really threatened spot.
So, kudos to Tyler. Good game, Fluff. And with that being said, keep in mind, guys, there's buttons down below on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
It's awesome to have new players. I hope they keep coming. Hopefully we didn't scare them off too bad. But as always, read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and Fluff out.